There is a strange silence that surrounds the lives of the hardest workers. And you know the ones. The people who rise before the sun, whose hands are rough, whose backs ache, whose time is stolen in fragments, yet whose bank accounts barely survive the month. We see them in every city, every country. The janitor, the factory worker, the delivery driver, the single parent working 2 jobs. And yet, we rarely stop to ask the question that should shake the world. Why do the hardest workers often earn the least?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
This is not just an economic question, it is a deep psychological and philosophical mystery. It forces us to confront our values, our systems, and the illusions we've been trained to never question. From childhood, we are told, work hard and you will succeed. But what if that's not true? What if the system was never designed for effort alone to translate into wealth? What if something else, something invisible but powerful, is shaping our destinies while we remain blind to it? We must begin by understanding the story we've inherited. The Protestant work ethic, deeply embedded in Western culture, teaches that hard work is a moral good, that to labor is to be virtuous, that sweat equals honor. But as Max Weber warned, this ethic, once rooted in spiritual purpose, has mutated into a mechanical grind where effort is divorced from meaning and virtue is reduced to exhaustion. We have become machines, and the more we break ourselves down, the more the system praises us for it. But here's the truth. Labor is not the currency of wealth. Leverage is. You can work tirelessly every day, and yet if your labor is easily replaceable, your value in the market remains low. The economy does not reward effort, it rewards impact, ownership, and control. It rewards those who control systems, not those who serve them. And this is where the psychological trap begins. Because many of us have been conditioned to believe that working harder will eventually tip the scale in our favor, while the scale itself was never built to balance. The philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." If we apply this to our work lives, it becomes haunting. How many people give their entire lives to jobs that drain them, hoping for a reward that never comes? How many sacrifice their health, their families, their dreams, trusting in a promise that was never theirs to keep? The truth is, the system needs workers more than it needs thinkers. It needs compliance more than creativity. And so it builds a mythology that to suffer in silence is noble, that exhaustion is a badge of honor, that the poor are poor because they simply haven't worked hard enough. But take a step back and look with clarity. The richest people in the world do not work the hardest. They work the least in the physical sense. They own things. They own systems. They move capital, not bricks. Their wealth grows while they sleep, while others labor. And yet we call the janitor lazy and the billionaire self-made. How did we get here? It begins in the mind. You see, humans are deeply influenced by hierarchy. We want to believe the world is just. We want to believe that people get what they deserve. Philosophers call this the just world fallacy, the illusion that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to the lazy. But life is not that clean. It is messy, layered, systemic. The world does not distribute wealth according to effort. It distributes it according to power, and power is not earned by labor, it is earned by strategy. Now pause and ask yourself, what is the story you've been telling yourself about work? Have you believed that if you just put in more hours, the universe will eventually reward you? Have you felt guilt when resting, as if your worth is tied to how much you produce? This is psychological conditioning, not truth. You are not a machine. Your value is not your sweat. You are a conscious being capable of creation, insight, and choice. But you have been trained to forget that. We must confront an uncomfortable reality. Most systems were not built for human flourishing. They were built for efficiency, for profit, for control. And people who question those systems, who ask why the hardest workers earn the least, are often labeled as lazy, dangerous, or entitled. But what if they are simply awake? Karl Marx, though controversial, made a powerful observation that laborers are alienated from the products of their work. They build wealth, but they do not own what they build. They give their time, but they do not receive the fruits. And this alienation is not just economic, it is existential. It creates a quiet despair, a sense that life is passing by while you're stuck in a loop with no exit. Now imagine a life where your work is aligned with your gifts, your values, and your freedom. Imagine a world where effort is not exploited but honored, where rest is not a reward but a right. To reach that world, we must first unlearn. We must unlearn the lie that just working harder will save us. We must unlearn the belief that suffering alone is noble. And we must begin to ask better questions, not just how can I work more, but why am I working at all? Do you work to live or live to work? Are you building your own dream or helping someone else grow theirs? Is your labor creating freedom, or is it a cage you've decorated with pride? The philosopher Alan Watts once warned us about this trap. He said, "This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now, and instead of calling it work, realize it is play." But how many people ever reach that state? How many are even allowed to try? The system doesn't want you to play, it wants you to produce. And when you are no longer productive, it discards you. So what now? Do we give up? Do we stop working altogether? No, we evolve. We shift from mindless labor to mindful creation, from being workers to becoming builders. Builders of systems, of meaning, of wealth that is not just financial, but emotional, spiritual, and communal. But to do this, we must stop measuring our lives in hours and start measuring them in alignment. We must ask, is this path taking me somewhere I want to go, or am I just walking in circles because that's what I was told to do? We must reclaim our time, our minds, our attention. Because attention is the new currency, and if you don't own yours, someone else does. You're not lazy for questioning the grind. You're not weak for wanting more than survival. You're not wrong for dreaming of rest, beauty, and freedom. You're human. And humans were not born to be gears in a machine. They were born to create, to connect, to awaken. So now we return to the question, why do the hardest workers often earn the least? Because the system is not broken, it is working exactly as it was designed to. And until we understand that, until we stop blaming ourselves and begin to see the deeper patterns, we will remain trapped in a game that cannot be won by playing harder. Are you ready to stop playing and start designing? To understand why the hardest workers often earn the least, we must now step beyond economics and into the deeper psychological architecture of our society. We must ask ourselves, what kind of value system rewards obedience over innovation? Why does physical effort, which is visible and measurable, often translate to poverty, while invisible labor like decision-making, networking, and ownership translates to wealth? The answer is uncomfortable, but essential. The world does not pay you for how hard you work, it pays you for how hard you are to replace. This is the philosophy of leverage. It is the silent mechanism behind success and inequality. A janitor can work 12 hours a day and still struggle, not because they are not valuable as a human being, but because their role is abundant. They are replaceable. But a person who owns the building the janitor works in can make money while asleep because they control a scarce asset. This is not a moral judgment, it is a structural truth. And until we understand this truth, we will keep pouring effort into the wrong container, wondering why it never fills. Let's go deeper. The human mind craves fairness. We are wired to believe that input should equal output. This belief comes from childhood, from classrooms where effort is rewarded with gold stars. But the adult world does not operate on that equation. In the adult world, effort is only one variable. Strategy, positioning, timing, risk tolerance, and access to capital often matter far more. And so many of the hardest workers find themselves disillusioned not because they failed, but because they were playing a different game than the one they thought they were in. You see, most people are taught to be workers, not strategists. We are trained to follow instructions, to perform tasks, to not question authority. This is not accidental, it is systemic. From industrial-era schooling to modern corporate structures, the goal has rarely been to create thinkers. It has been to create predictable producers. But predictable producers are rarely the ones who rise. Those who rise are often the ones who disrupt the system, who understand it from above rather than suffer under it. Aristotle once said, "The ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival." Think about that. If you are too busy surviving, you cannot contemplate. If you are exhausted from labor, you cannot strategize. The system then benefits from your exhaustion. Because a tired mind does not rebel, it complies. And thus the cycle continues: work harder, earn less, question nothing. But here's the shift. Once you see the structure, you are no longer a victim of it. Awareness becomes the first form of freedom. When you realize that your job does not care about your potential, only your output, you stop tying your identity to your title. When you realize that wealth is not made through labor but through ownership, you begin to think differently. You begin to ask, what can I create? What can I control? What can I own? This is not a message of bitterness, it is a message of awakening. We do not blame the system for being what it is, we adapt. The system rewards value creation, not effort replication. The question is not how many hours you work, but what those hours are building. Are they building someone else's dream or your own? Are they compounding into leverage, or are they evaporating into fatigue? We must also recognize how society uses morality to keep people in their place. The glorification of hard work often becomes a trap. We admire the single mother working 3 jobs, and yes, she deserves admiration. But admiration doesn't change her condition. We praise her struggle while ignoring the system that creates it. We glorify survival as if it were success. But survival is not the goal. Thriving is. Now consider this. Who taught you that rest is laziness? Who taught you that wealth is shameful? Who taught you that questioning authority is dangerous? These are not universal truths. They are cultural programs, and those programs have beneficiaries. The more obedient the population, the easier it is to manage. The more guilt they feel about wanting freedom, the less likely they are to seek it. We are not here to shame labor. Honest work is sacred. But we are here to question why sacred effort is so often exploited. The problem is not the work, it's the structure above it. And that structure is invisible until you learn to see it. Once you do, everything changes. Let's bring this back to psychology. The modern worker is often in a state of quiet resignation. They feel tired, undervalued, overworked. But they blame themselves. They think, maybe I'm not working hard enough. Maybe I need a side hustle. Maybe I'm lazy. This internalization is tragic. It turns structural injustice into personal shame. And shame, as Carl Jung said, is a soul-eating emotion. So how do we heal this? First, by recognizing that your worth is not tied to your wage. Your value as a human is not measured in productivity. You are not a machine. You are creative consciousness. And your greatest power is not in how many hours you can grind, but in how clearly you can think. Second, we must reframe what success looks like. Success is not just financial, it is psychological. It is the ability to wake up without dread, and to spend time on what matters, to say no without guilt, or rest without shame. These are not luxuries. They are signs that you are starting to reclaim your autonomy. Third, we must begin building leverage. This does not mean becoming a millionaire overnight. It means shifting from labor-based income to value-based income. It means developing skills that are rare and in demand. It means creating assets, whether intellectual, digital, or physical, that can work for you. It means stepping out of the trap of endless effort and into the realm of intentional impact. But this requires courage. The courage to unlearn. The courage to face the fear of leaving the known path. The courage to be misunderstood, even ridiculed. Because when you stop playing the game, those still in it will panic. They will call you arrogant, foolish, naive. But what they really mean is, you are reminding me of the freedom I gave up. Ask yourself this: are you exhausted because you're weak, or because you've been carrying the weight of a system that was never designed for your liberation? Are you truly free, or just well-behaved? Are you living, or merely complying? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary. Because until you question the foundation, you will keep rearranging the furniture in a burning house. It is time to stop glorifying burnout. It is time to stop worshiping the grind. It is time to build a life based on clarity, not just effort. The world is changing. Automation is rising. Jobs are disappearing. The old model, work hard, stay loyal, retire at 65 is crumbling. And in its place, a new model is emerging. Think clearly, act strategically, create value, own your time. This is not about abandoning work. It is about evolving it. It is about reclaiming the power that has been hidden from you, the power to choose, the power to create, the power to say, I will no longer trade my life for survival. You were not born to grind. You were born to awaken. Now that we've seen the architecture of the system, how it rewards leverage over labor, ownership over obedience, we must go deeper into the human soul. Because this question, why do the hardest workers earn the least, is not just about economics or strategy. It's about identity. It's about how we see ourselves in a world that often reduces us to output. It's about breaking psychological chains that have been passed down through generations, chains that whisper, you are only as good as you are useful. Let's begin with this. The most dangerous belief a human can hold is that their worth is conditional. Conditional on productivity, conditional on suffering, conditional on never resting. This belief turns people into servants of systems they don't understand. It makes them police their own freedom. They deny themselves rest, joy, even curiosity because somewhere along the way, they were taught that these things must be earned through pain. But who taught us that? And why? Philosopher Michel Foucault revealed how modern power operates not through violence, but through control of thought, through systems that make us discipline ourselves. He called it the panopticon, a structure where you behave as if you are always being watched, even when you're not. That's what work has become for many. Even when we're off the clock, we feel guilty for not being productive. Even when we're exhausted, we feel ashamed for resting. This is not freedom. This is psychological imprisonment. And the prison is invisible. That's what makes it so powerful. It operates through culture, through language, through expectations. We shame the poor for working low-skilled jobs, yet we cannot live without them. We admire billionaires who exploit labor, then tell our children to work harder to be like them. This cognitive dissonance creates an internal war. We feel something is wrong, but we don't know what it is. So we blame ourselves. You must understand, the system survives through your confusion. As long as you believe your suffering is your fault, you won't question the rules. As long as you believe you're just not working hard enough, you won't look up. And as long as you don't look up, those at the top will continue to grow richer off the back of your labor, your guilt, your silence. But what if you stopped? What if you asked? What if you asked, what if the game is rigged? What if I'm not failing, but playing by rules that were never meant to serve me? That one moment of clarity can change a life. Now let's talk about fear. Because once people begin awakening to this truth, they often feel fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of instability. Fear of leaving the known path. This is natural. The mind clings to familiarity, even when it's painful. That's why so many people stay in toxic jobs, toxic routines, toxic identities, because the unknown feels more dangerous than the known. But here's the paradox. The unknown is where freedom lives. It is only when you step outside the rhythm of the grind that you begin to hear your own voice again. And that voice might ask questions that terrify you. What do I really want? What am I here to do? What if I've spent years climbing the wrong ladder? These are not questions for the faint of heart, but they are the only questions worth asking if you want to live, not just survive. Let's return to the ancient wisdom. Lao Tzu said, "Doing nothing is better than being busy doing nothing." Let that sink in. So much of what we call work is busyness without direction. We stay busy so we don't have to feel lost. We stay busy so we don't have to confront the emptiness. But in doing so, we miss the point of life entirely. What is the point of your labor? To buy things? To impress others? To prove you're not lazy? Or is there something deeper calling out to you beneath the noise? You see, true work, the kind that nourishes the soul, is not always what society rewards. Teaching a child, planting a garden, writing a poem, resting when your body needs it. These things may not earn the most money, but they are sacred. They restore what the machine of capitalism erodes: presence, beauty, connection. But the moment you shift your life toward these things, you will be tested. The world will call you foolish. Your own mind will whisper doubts. You'll compare yourself to others who are moving faster, earning more, being productive. But remember this: a life lived fast in the wrong direction is not success, it's acceleration toward emptiness. So what do? We begin small. We reclaim our time, minute by minute. We question every assumption we've inherited. We stop saying yes to everything. We rest without guilt. We create without permission. We build leverage slowly through skills, through assets, through clarity. We stop working harder and start working wiser. This is not about quitting your job tomorrow or abandoning responsibility. It's about changing your relationship to work forever. It's about understanding that your energy is sacred and must be invested, not spent. It's about recognizing that your job may pay you just enough to keep you quiet, but never enough to set you free. And freedom is the goal. Not just financial freedom, but mental freedom, emotional freedom, time freedom, the freedom to wake up and choose, the freedom to say no, the freedom to walk away from anything that insults your soul. So the next time you feel ashamed that you're not working harder, ask yourself, who benefits from my exhaustion? Who profits from my guilt? Who stays in power as long as I stay silent? And then ask, what would my life look like if I chose differently? Because you can choose differently. You can learn how to build leverage. You can learn how to say no. You can learn how to rest. You can learn how to create. These are not privileges reserved for the elite. These are your birthrights, but no one will hand them to you. You must claim them. You must become the architect of your own life, not a cog in someone else's machine. And when you do, you will begin to see the world with new eyes. You will stop admiring those who hoard wealth and start honoring those who live with intention. You will stop glorifying the grind and start praising alignment. You will stop measuring success by income and start measuring it by peace. So we return, one last time, to the question, why do the hardest workers often earn the least? Because they were taught to trade time for money instead of building something that compounds. Because they were taught to obey, not to question. Because they were conditioned to value effort over insight. But most of all, because they were never taught that they had another choice. Now you know. The question is, what will you do with this knowing? Will you forget this and return to the grind? Or will you remember it and begin the quiet revolution of reclaiming your life? Because once you awaken, there is no going back. And perhaps that is the most beautiful danger of all.